Hi everyone, it's Isaac here. Now, I'm not at my house, I'm actually at my grandparents' house, and this man behind me, can you wave hi to YouTube? Would you like to introduce yourself, but not your full name, because I want to introduce your. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, certainly. Well, I'm Isaac's grandfather, and we share a common interest in railways.
What's your name?
My name is Paul.
Mm-hmm. And why do you like railways?
I'm not sure how it started, but it goes back to when I was about 8 years old in World War II, and I was at a station where we were evacuated, and I was called. I was on the platform with my bicycle, and a tank engine was shunting in the yard at this station, Royston in Hertfordshire, and the driver said, "Do you want to come up on the footplate?" So that's a very exciting thing. So I left my bicycle, walked across the tracks of the goods yard, and climbed up and spent the afternoon with this driver and his fireman on the footplate of this tank engine, shunting the wagons. And that's where my hobby started.
Thank you very much, Paul. Now, today in this video, Paul, I've been talking about this for maybe just like a few minutes ago. Paul, what do you want to do with me? You challenged me to some sort of quiz. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So today in this video, we're going to. This amazing man called Paul is going to be challenging me to a railway quiz. The video is just still recording, by the way, and he's gonna. How many questions do you want to give to me today?
Certainly half a dozen, maybe more.
I don't want the video to run for quite a while, so maybe shall we do 5 or 10?
Let's call it 10.
Let's do 10. Perfect. So without further ado, let's start the quiz. So please like and subscribe, and let's just roll with it. So I'm just going to sit in this chair. Now, let's introduce ourselves. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Isaac.
How are you doing today?
I'm having a great day, thank you. How about you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm really looking forward to doing this railway quiz, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what questions you're going to ask me. So, shall we start?
Let us start.
Yes.
Now, the first thing is, I know you spend a lot of time looking at trains on London's underground system and on the main railways as well.
Yeah.
And you will have noticed that on the main lines around London to the south, what was the old Southern Railway, and now the tracks of Network Rail, where the trains from Southern and South Eastern run, and London to South Western. If you look at the track, and some of these questions I'm going to ask are about the tracks that the trains run on, you'll see there are 3 rails.
Mm-hmm.
2 there, and 1 on the outside a bit higher up.
Yeah.
3 rails. What is the 3rd rail for?
So the 3rd rail is, if I'm correct in thinking, they have this thing on a train called a contact shoe, and they place the contact shoe on the 3rd rail. Is that correct, or am I explaining it wrong?
No, that's
correct. It may sound a bit complicated.
But
you know
why? Why is there a contact shoe on the 3rd rail? What for?
So the reason why... Oh, sorry, were you still saying something?
That's all right.
It's fine. So they use this thing called a contact rail, a contact shoe, to lower the shoes on the 3rd rail to collect power.
That's the point. It collects electricity. It's a contact. So, but you know, I think we mentioned before, you know that electricity, if it's going to flow, it's got to have a complete circuit. It's got to be able to go and come back. Now there, we've only got 1 rail. So how can it come back? Because if you think there's a power station somewhere that's generating electricity, and the electricity is going into this 3rd rail, and it enables the train to drive along. This is electric trains, electric power trains, to drive along, but the electricity goes through the motor in the train, and it's got to back somewhere, otherwise nothing will happen. Mm-hmm. So how does it get back to the power station to make the circuit?
I'm not too sure. That may sound like a complicated question.
Well, it's a very important question, but it's going to govern the next question.
Go on.
Which you'll be able to answer. It goes back through the running rails. The 2 rails the electricity comes through the third rail, goes through the motor of the train, and enables the driver to drive it, and then it goes out, back through the wheels, and back to the power station to make a complete circuit. So that is question one. Now, following on from question one,
We've gone to question 2.
to question two, and we're now going to move to London's Underground. Any line of the Underground.
I'm pretty sure I'll know about the London Underground.
you
Do
will.
challenge me.
Well, it's not very challenging, but based on what we were talking about before, if you look at the track at any London Underground station, how many rails will you see?
So, you see 4 rails.
Correct. Now then, 2 of them are called running rails, running track, which the wheels are on and the train is on. But the other 2 are for electrical power, because all the trains on London's Underground are electric. There are no diesel, no steam for ordinary services. So the other 2 rails are presumably, what are they for?
The other 2 rails, so they used... What do you mean by 2 rails?
Well, there are 4 rails, 2 of which are for the wheels to hold the train. And the other 2, the one in the middle and the one on the outside, are for...
And the outside are used for...
What have we been talking about so far?
We've been talking about third rail, is that correct? Sorry, third. We've just been talking about third rails.
But
4th rail.
There were 4 rails. And what do these other 2 do? The 2 of the 4 of the 4? You've got the 2
Collect power.
Correct. Power arrives at the train via the outer rail, goes through the motor of the train and enables the driver to drive it, and goes back through the middle rail, not to earth. So that is quite complicated, but it's a very important distance, and an important thing with these 2 questions, and it leads to the third question. If you go to...
Is this the third question, by the
This
way?
is the third question coming up.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right? And it's this, and I'm referring now to electrified railways in this country and abroad, where the current is provided by overhead supply. Right? No electric rails on the ground, there's just the 2 rails for the wheels, so overhead.
I know the answer to that. It's a pantograph, isn't it? Overhead wires?
I'm talking about the wires.
Oh, the wires.
And they carry an electric current, which is collected by, you've answered the next question, a device on the top of the carriages called a pantograph.
Yeah.
And that is on a spring. It goes up and is in contact with the wires and collects the electricity which goes through the motors. The driver can use this power, and then where does it go? To make the circuit.
To make the circuit, does it go on the overhead wire?
It comes from the overhead wire through the pantograph to the controls that the driver has, and then it's got to go back to the power station, otherwise it won't work. And so you gave me the answer already in the earlier question. It goes back through the running rails to the earth and that way back. Okay, and that's enough about electricity.
Can I just check how long we're running into the
Yes, of
video?
course.
I might pause it in between so it's not running too long. Okay, so we're 9 minutes in, so I'm just going to pause it for now. Okay, guys, we're just back. We were just about 9 minutes into the video. How many more questions do we have?
Many as you want.
Okay, I think we've done 3, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do 7 more, and I might pause the video in between. So yeah. Anyways. Hello, Paul again. Thanks for the break. We've done a pretend break.
Yeah, right. Now we dealt with the first question about electricity and so on. Let's have some other simple railway questions.
I think it's question 4 now.
Question 4. What is the name of the structure that holds anything beside the track, a metal structure to hold signals, to hold overhead wire, anything. There's a name for a structure, and hold particularly signals in the army. What is the name of that structure?
Sorry, so you said signal. Something.
It could hold signals. It's a metal structure built on the ground, comes up over the
If
track.
I'm correct, is it a signal box?
No, not a signal box. No, it's a structure.
A 7-4 signal?
Pardon? No, it's not a signal. It's a structure to hold signals,
Oh, okay.
and it's called a gantry. Gantry.
I've never heard of that. Sorry.
Oh, there's a word.
Sorry about that.
I mean, you can often see. I mean, when you're with your railway travels, you can be on a platform somewhere. You look, and at the end of the platform, you'll see a structure. A structure which might have on it signals or overhead wire, and that structure is called a gantry.
Okay then.
Gantry. So that was question number
4.
4. So now let's think about question number 5.
But before that, can we just wave? Can we just wave to YouTube quickly?
Of course.
We're just waving. This is a YouTube video, by the way. So make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. There's a thing called like and subscribe.
Please
Sorry.
subscribe.
Yeah. Hopefully you're enjoying the video so far. I'll come back and check in a few minutes how long we're doing in. So on question number 5. Sorry for your interruption.
Sorry, question number 5.
Question number 5. Yeah.
Can you pause it while I think?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'll just pause it. I'll see you after the break. Wave. Bye. I was just waving.